We are on Paraklan base Pasuk Chaf Hey, 3225, which is on page 3225. Yeah, 174. We had started this yesterday about Yaakov in the wrestling match. And again, 2 lines from the bottom. Maybe we could close that door over there. A man is wrestling with Yaakov Avinu. And the word Vayavek is an interesting word. Vayavek means on one hand it means, guys, don't sit, do me a favor, come sit over here. You guys are sitting over there, it just makes it awkward. Come fill up these seats over here. We're not going to bite you over here. Take these seats, just don't block the, what do you call it? Come sit at this table so you can You're right. You're right. You're right. Good try. You can sit over here. Just what do you call it?
Is this your way of saying that you love us?
Yeah, I'm telling you, just love you. Yeah, that's my way of saying I love you. Yeah.
You want me to sit on Nakshan's lap?
No, you're good. Okay, so the word Vayavek means they're wrestling. And wrestling, it's also the Hebrew word avak, which is dust. Hebrew word avak. And the reason that wrestling is related to the word avak is because when you're wrestling around, you kick up dust. 2 guys who are wrestling around are kicking up dust. Okay, now we're going to see about that in a second. The Gemara says they were kicking up dust, and the dust went all the way up to God's throne. How high did the dust go? Went up to the Kisei HaKavod. Went all the way up to God's throne. What does that mean? I mean, that's some wrestling match. Yeah, kicking up dust. The dust is all the way up to, going up to all the way God's throne. So first of all, what does it mean? Second of all, what do we care? So it could be that it wants to communicate to us what a rough wrestling match this was. But there's got to be something else here. There's got to be something else. So you'll notice in the fight itself, the fight is not even. It's not an even fight over here. I think I told you guys when my younger brother and I had what we call a fair fight. And the younger guy, I would challenge my brother, I'd say, let's have a fair fight. Starting, and I'm telling you this is true, you could call my brother up if you don't believe me. Starting position for a fair fight was he would lie on his stomach. I would sit on his back with my knees pitting his shoulders to the ground, and I would start wailing on him. And he had to throw me off. That was a fair fight. Somehow, don't ask me how I convinced him that was a fair fight. And then he would get off and he'd start hitting, and he would start hitting too. So when he was young, he's 5 years younger, so when he was little, it was okay. Then he started getting bigger. And he started hitting, and it started to hurt. And so he would throw me off, chase me around, he'd start hitting me, I'd say, I quit. And eventually he'd say, no, you can't quit. Right? So I started challenging him less often because I really didn't want to get hit. And I couldn't take the punch because my older brother never beat on me. I beat on my younger. I say he could take the punch. I couldn't take the punch. I wasn't interested in the pain. That was our fair fight. What's happening over here? The angel is trying to throw Yaakov down. What's Yaakov trying to do? All he's trying to do is stay standing up. He's not trying to throw the angel down. You hear that it's not a balanced fight over here. The angel is starting with, what is the angel wrestling with Yaakov? What does he want to do? He wants to throw him down. And what does Yaakov want to do? He started. Yaakov didn't start the fight. The angel started the fight. What's he trying to do? He's trying to throw him down. What's Yaakov? Just leave me alone. Not trying to throw the angel down. That's Jewish history. The nations of the world have always been trying to throw us down. What do we want to do? Just leave us alone. So all we want is leave us alone. We're not trying to throw them down. We don't go attacking other nations. We're not anti-Semites. How's that? We're not trying to, just leave us alone. I have an uncle. My uncle is a Satmar Chassid. My uncle Mendel is a Satmar Chassid. And he's a little older now, but he was with the New York police force. And in Brooklyn, And in Brooklyn, when I was a little kid, he was a hardcore Satmar Chassid with the round curly payas. And I used to call him Uncle Bing Bing. Because he'd come, when I would pull his payas, he'd let me pull his payas. They look like a slinky. And I would pull him down and let him spring up and go, bing, bing, like this. I called him Uncle Bing Bing. So my Uncle Bing Bing was with the New York police. He was an undercover cop with the New York police force. And he helped the Jews in Williamsburg when the various undesirables would come in and start hassling them. And he was part of the fort to protect them. They weren't looking to go after other people. They're looking just to leave us alone. That's all we want to do, leave us alone to do our thing. That's been the fight of Jewish history, is they're trying to throw us down. You guys go do whatever you want to do. Go do what you want to do, live where you do whatever you want, just leave us alone, except in Israel. In the land of Israel, the Jewish people, when they came in, they have a command that the pagans can either leave or die. You can't stay in Israel and worship idols and have a negative influence on us. But you want to go off to Afghanistan, or you want to go off to Indonesia, you want to go do your thing and lie in a bed of nails in Tibet, that's up to you. Leave us alone. That's all we ask, is leave us alone. And this is the fight of Jewish history, number one, with the physical anti-Semites. On a spiritual level, this is what we said yesterday is Samael, the Satan, the angel of sin. And what is he trying to do to Yaakov Avinu? He's trying to demonstrate that he can trip up the Jewish people. Yaakov Avinu fights him, and the dust goes up to the throne, to God's throne. It doesn't say that the victory went up to God's throne. It says the dust of the struggle goes up to God's throne, which means that for each one of us, what's God looking for from us? He's looking for us to make the effort. It's the effort we all have. Everybody's got a Yetzer Hara. Everybody's got their various drives and temptations, and sometimes we succeed, and sometimes there's a setback. What's God? He's not expecting perfection. What's he expecting? He's expecting us to make the effort to overcome. The effort that we put in to overcome, that goes all the way up to God's throne. So you guys are sitting next to God's throne, because every one of you is making that effort. Are you 100% successful? Maybe not. I'd assume not. None of us are 100% successful. It's not a dispensation, by the way. We still have to try our best. But on those times where you fought and you overcome, the battle itself goes up to God's throne. That's what the Torah is telling us over here. Then it says that the angel can't overthrow him. Take a look at the next page. It says, Pasuk Chavav at the bottom. Vayar ki lo yacholo. The angel saw that he can't overcome him. Vayiga bechaf yerecho. He nailed him in the thigh. Vateka kaf yerech Yaakov. His thigh became, his hip, what he translated, the hip socket, became like dislocated. Oh, he did say translate dislocated. Behav koimo in the battle. He can't overthrow Yaakov. And again, this Satan is called Saro Shel Esav. You know, every nation has a ministering angel. Who is the ministering angel of the Jewish people? Do you know? We have the minute what we call the Sar of Klal Yisrael. Obviously, we're not worshiping; we worship God. But who is the angel? Close. Michael. Michael is the ministering angel of the Jewish people. There is an opinion, by the way, that this was Michael fighting with Yaakov Avinu, to show Yaakov Avinu that even to show Yaakov Avinu you'll be able to overcome Esav because you're able to overcome me, so you got nothing to worry about. So according to one, it was like the coach. It was like the coach who gives you he makes it even more difficult for you, just to show you you'll be able, if you can overcome this difficulty, you'll be able to beat the other team. That's how they teach a basketball team to beat a full court press. You know, full court press is where the other team puts a full court press. So how do you teach the basketball team to beat a full court press? You have in practice, instead of 5 guys pressing the guys with the ball, you put 8 guys on the floor or 10 guys on the floor. Now they got to get through the whole maze of people. So they have to, once they've learned to compensate at that level, so then it's going to be easy when there are only 5 guys pressing you. That's how you overcome. So Mala, if it's Michael, according to one opinion, it is Michael, if you could overcome me, you could certainly overcome Esav. You know that Jerry West, who I'm assuming you all heard of, if you didn't, you should have. Yeah. So Jerry West was arguably the best shooter in the NBA. He was arguing until Steph Curry. Jerry West was arguably the best shooter. So Jerry West used to practice on a basket, the regular basketball basket. He could fit 2 basketballs through it. Did you know that? No, you do. The diameter, what's that round part? That's called diameter? The circumference, that's what there's Sir Lancelot and circumference, right? I always forget, right? There's the circumference, not the diameter is across. The circumference of the, what do you call it, can fit 2 basketballs in through. Jerry West used to practice on a smaller rim. So that when he goes and plays a game, now he's shooting on a bigger rim, so that it looks like a huge bucket over there. You understand? Okay, so if you could beat Michal, you're going to beat Esav. The other opinion is that this is what's called Saro Shel Esav. Esav's ministering to angel, which is the Satan, the Yetzer Hara. They're all one. Satan, evil inclination, angel of death is all one. It's all one. That is the ministering angel of Esav. And he's fighting Yaakov, and he can't throw him down. So what does he do? He hits him in the thigh. What does that mean? What does that refer to? So the commentaries point out that what was Yaakov known for? What is Yaakov? Avram is chesed, Yitzchak is din, Yaakov is what? Truth, emes. Now what's the ultimate truth? What is the source of ultimate truth? The Torah. Hashem, obviously, it says, the Gemara says Hashem's signature is emes. Hashem signs his name, emes. But what is the Torah? The Torah is emes. Yaakov, excuse me 1 second. Yaakov immersed himself 14 years in yeshiva. He is the consummate Torah scholar, devoted to Torah. Esav knows, and this is what Yitzchak said in that bracha. Remember when Yitzchak gave the bracha, Hakol kol Yaakov v'ayadayim yedei Esav. When the voice is the voice of Yaakov, that when the Jewish people are studying Torah, then Esav is weak. Torah is what protects the Jewish people. And if we are involved in Torah and we're learning Torah, if we're involved in Torah and we're learning Torah, so we understand that Esav is weak. He cannot overthrow us. He can't do. So what is Esav trying to do? The first thing he wants to do is let's shut down Torah. That's the first thing he wants to do. Let's shut down Torah. How do we shut down Torah? Throw Yaakov down. He can't throw Yaakov down. They will never succeed in shutting us down for Torah. Rabbi Akiva taught Torah in defiance of the Romans. And Rabbi Chanina ben Teradion, he was killed for it. Rabbi Chanina ben Teradion taught Torah in defiance of the Romans. He was burnt in the Sefer Torah with it. They'll never shut us down from learning Torah. So he says, okay, I can't block them off in Torah, so I'll go for the next best thing, which is what? What does the thigh do for the body? The support system. When people try, if you ever have any of you have a goal in life to become fundraisers, right? If you go fundraising for any Jewish cause, fundraise for Hatzalah, or fundraise for a hospital, or fundraise for a poor fund that provides food for people, you'll be successful. It won't be hard to fundraise. It's a difficult job fundraising, but you'll have more success than setbacks. What's the hardest thing to fundraise for? Yeshivas. Why is it? Not only it's hard to fundraise for yeshivas, it's hard for people. There are a lot of generous Jews who support yeshivas. I mean, there are millions of dollars are being collected now because the government is cutting off various forms of funding for the yeshiva people. But not only there are people who won't give to the yeshivas, there are people who will try to convince other people not to give. What do you care if he gives? Why are you getting involved in telling him, you don't want to give, don't give? Why tell him not to give? Where does that come from? Remember we were talking about spiritual energy that's put into the world. It's right over here. I can't throw down the learners. There are going to be people learning Torah. The Mir Yeshiva, they're learning Torah. In Padovich, they're learning Torah. In Lakewood, they're learning Torah. But what about the support system? All yeshivas are always in the red. Yeshivas, I don't know of any yeshivas that, we're just rolling in the dough. There are other organizations that are doing very well. Yeshivas always struggle. Why? It's put in right over here. Nail them in the thigh. The support system. And there's something about supporting. We know that Torah learning is the most important mitzvah. How do we know? Where do we say it, gentlemen, every morning? What? Talmud Torah keneged kulam. We say it every morning. Yelu dvarim she'en lahem shir. These are the things that have no limit. Ha-peyav, ha-bikurim, ha-renim, chasadim, Talmud Torah. Elu dvarim. Then we say the things that a person eats, the benefits in this world. The main reward is in the world to come. And it goes through kibud avayim, gmilus chasadim, honoring parents, and chesed. The Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Torah learning outweighs it all. It's the single most important mitzvah. The most important mitzvah. And therefore, it's got the most important fight against it. It's got the biggest opposition to it. And then you have the people who support Torah. It's hard to raise money for Torah. It's very hard to raise money for Torah. And then you have the people who are opposed to even other people supporting Torah. Okay, now watch this. Okay, hang on. Vayomer, by the way, the limp over here, where it says Yaakov, he's dislocated. He's dislocated. So we'll see later on that Yaakov walks away limping, which is to teach us that if you look down, just skip down for a second, on Lamed Beis, skip down to Pasuk Lamed Beis. We're going to come back to this. He gets hit in the thigh, and then at the end of the fight, 8 lines to the top. 7 lines to the top. Do you guys see that where that is? Vayizrach lo hashemesh, kasher ovar es peduel, the sunshine, v'hut solea al yerecho. He was limping because of his thigh. Yaakov is limping. And he got hit in the thigh and he's limping, and the symbolism is that Jews will never have solid ground to walk on in exile. We'll never be on, symbolized by the limp, we will never be on solid ground because we're always going to have that wound, that injury, that we're not home. We're not home. We're still in exile. This isn't our place. And that symbolically, we don't have solid ground to walk on. Now watch this. You're going to love this. The Malach says to Yaakov, Shalcheni. They're gripped on each other. They're holding each other. Vayomer Shalcheni ki ola hashachar. So send me off because it's the morning has broken. That was a song. Send me off because morning has broken. Cat Stevens was, what do you call, I remember the rumors was that he was really Jewish and his name is Stephen Katz, right? And he just changed it to Cat Stevens, which was not true. He was actually Greek Orthodox. So it said, Vayishlach, but he was talented. Vayomer shalcheni ki ola hashachar. He said, send me off because morning, it's morning. Vayomer lo ashalecha chakim berachdani. I'm not going to send you. Yaakov says, I'm not sending you away unless you bless me. Now, what does it mean over here? Take a look at Rashi for a second. First top Rashi, right column. Ki ola hashachar, right column, top line. He says, send me off. It's morning. V'tzarech ani lomar shira bayom. I have to. It's my day. I have to go up and sing to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, the Medrash says, it's my shift has come. It's my shift. Send me off. My shift has come to sing Shira to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How providential. How providential. Just when you're in the middle of fighting, all of a sudden, oh, I got to go. Sorry, I'd love to continue, but I got my shift upstairs. Say, my brother's got me pinned, and I say, oh, let me go. I got to go do homework. Oh, now you got to do homework. Huh? I see. When he came up behind me and flicked my ear, then you didn't have to do homework. All of a sudden, now you got to do your. How providential. Now you got to go up and sing Shira HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Try something else, buddy. So what's going on? Number one. Number two, why does he want to get away there? So you see, every angel has a job. Every angel has a job. What's the job of this angel? The job of this angel is to test Yaakov. Symbolically, what's the job of the evil inclination? His job isn't to make us stumble. His job is to test us. This wrestling match symbolically is the test that we all go through. So has he fulfilled his job? He's fulfilled his job. His job is to test him. He's fulfilled his job. Well, what do angels do after they fulfill their job? They go up and they sing Shira to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he's saying, it's not a coincidence, not because it just happens to be the clock struck 12 and I'm going to turn into a pumpkin if you don't send me off. It's because by definition it's my time now because now I fulfilled my task, which my task was to put you to the test, which he did. He put him to the test. Now I got to go up and sing Shira. But you see, it's more than that. Ultimately, you ever been in a movie theater where somebody turns on a flashlight? What happened? The lights go up in the theater. All of a sudden you can't see the screen anymore. I've never seen that. I've never been in a theater where I was in a theater in Israel once in Beersheba when I was about 18. We were in a movie theater in Beersheba, and some guy, the screen, there was like a wooden stage in front of the screen, and right in the middle of the movie, some guy got up and he took an empty bottle and he rolled it across the stage. That's about the worst I've seen in a movie theater. Yeah, I've never seen what do you call it? I once heard in a certain movie theater, they make an announcement. All of the old ladies may keep their hats on during the movie. Every single woman in the room takes her hat off. Think about that. All elderly ladies may keep their hats on. Every single woman takes her hat off. Brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. So the it's brilliant. It's not me. I don't own a movie theater. But if I did own a movie theater, I would make that announcement. Unbelievable, predictable. Somebody once said the fastest way to get a woman to change her mind is to agree with her. Absolutely true. Absolutely. If you agree with her, so a woman has an idea, a husband argues with her, she'll forget about it. What are you doing? She has an idea and say, yeah, good idea. She says, you know what, I was thinking maybe not. I tried and tested. I'm giving you state secrets, guys. You should be paying me for this. So he said, now, why to bring up the movie theater? Because what is the Yetzer Hara ultimately? He's ultimately just an illusion. Life's temptations, when a person indulges, you find out there wasn't really much there. He's great in the dark. The last thing he wants is the clarity of vision. Remember we called him Samael. What does Samael do? He blinds people. That's why he's called Samael. He blinds people. The last thing he wants us doing is looking with clarity at what he is. Because if a person with clarity would look at life, we'd see that don't be involved in nonsense, do something productive with your life. So he wants to tempt us and blind us and distract us and camouflage all the important things. So what's he petrified of? Kiala HaShachar. Like Cinderella at the strike. Yeah, What is it? What happened with Cinderella? Something at midnight? What happened at midnight? What happened to Cinderella at midnight?
She went back to being
all of a sudden the whole thing switches, so she's got to get out of there before midnight, right? Because something like that. Right? Isn't that what happened?
Cinderella?
Yeah. I think when the clock, she's at the ball, the dance, but at midnight, and she's all danced up and glamorous. But I think at midnight she turns back into what do you call it? So it looks like a shmata. So this guy comes along. He says, "Vayomer shacheni ki elai shachar, get me out of here." At daybreak. What's he worried about? Because at daybreak is the light of clarity. You're going to see me for what I really am. That I don't really. The whole thing's an illusion, and therefore he's panicked. He's got to get out of there. I'm not going to send you off until you bless me, meaning that you concede the brachas that were given to me that you wanted your Esav to have. I want you to concede the brachas. So what does he say? What's your name? Not that he's asking him. He knows his name. Vayomer Yaakov. Vayomer lo ye Yaakov yemer od shimcha. Your name is no longer Yaakov, ki im Yisrael. We're going to call you Yisrael. Ki sarisa im Elokim v'im anoshim v'atuchal. Now watch this. Watch this. Your name is going to be eventually changed to Yisrael. Not right now. I'm telling you that Yisrael means that you have been wrestled with man and God, or man and celestial beings, and you've emerged successful. Watch this, gentlemen. Put it up here, put the camera up. This is unbelievable. This is great to have in the background. Yes, we are adults in this room, yes. Watch this. You have the name Yaakov, right? How much is a yud? 10. An ayin? 70. Kuf is 100. Beis is 2. So Yaakov equals how much? 182. How much is Yisrael? So you have 10, 300, 200. That's 510, 511, and 30 is 541. 541. Here's 500, 510, 511, and 540. Okay. Yaakov overcomes the Satan. He's added that to his bag, hasn't he? How much is the Satan? The Satan is 359. Way. Guess what? 2 and 9 is 11, carry the 1 and 5 is 6, and 4 is 10, carry the 1, 2, and 3 is 5. 541. So 182 and 359 is 541. Yaakov plus Satan equals Israel. You just overcame the Satan. You just overcame the Satan. You've now gotten up to the level of Israel. Yaakov plus Satan is Israel. How do you like that? I happened to notice that during the Torah reading. If you believe that, I'll sell you a boat. Yeah. I got some land in Florida if you're interested. No, it's not. Believe me, that was not something I would have come up with or capable. Yes.
So during the time of Mashiach, when Hashem will shecht the Yetzer Hara, will we become Yaakov again?
No. We're good. We're Yisrael. We're going to always be Yisrael. But shechting the Yetzer Hara symbolically, that Gemara you're referring to, is where he's exposed as imagination. That's exactly the point. What does it mean to shech the Yetzer Hara? What does it mean? He's going to take a big sharp knife. Come over here. No, don't do it. I'll be good. Come here. It means that we're gonna expose him for what he really is. What was that guy's name in Greek mythology? Was it like the troublemaker? Was it Loki or something? You know what I'm talking about? Was it? Huh?
Loki's Norse.
Norse. Oh, sorry. Who's south? North, south, face. I just remember it was like the troublemaker Loki. He was apparently the whatever it was. Now watch this. Here we go. Watch this. 4 lines from the top. Vayishal Yaakov, Vayomer. Yaakov asks and he says, Hagida na shemecha. You tell me your name. I asked you my name. I told him my name. Yes, we didn't. Vayomer lama zatishal ishvi. He says, why do you ask my name? Vavarcho soshab. Says, why are you asking my name? So take a look at Rashi. What do you mean? What kind of answer is that? Why are you asking my name? Take a look at Rashi. Rashi says, it's the right column, 4 lines from the bottom. Watch this. Rashi says, Lama zeti shalishi. Why are you asking? Ein lanu shem kavua. We don't have a set name. Mishtanim shmoseinu. Our names change. Hakolafi mitzvos avodas hashlichus shanu mishtalchim. Our names change based on the mission that we've been sent on by God. He's saying as a general rule for angels. Our names change based on the mission. But here, who is he? He is the evil inclination. Jacob says, what's your name? He says, why are you asking my name? Meaning, shouldn't make any difference to you. What does that mean? That means, sometimes you're working on something. I'm working on my Yetzer Hara of not eating, of only eating kosher. I beat the Yetzer Hara. I only eat kosher. I'm committed to kosher. There, I won. Boom. Comes along Yetzer Hara says, you won. Yeah, you just defeated. Maybe you defeated by kosher. You still haven't defeated me by morality. And if you take me over there, I'll get you back on kosher. And not only that, even if you get me on kosher and morality, there's still ego. And if not ego, once you finish with ego, there's what do you call it? There's also selfishness. And then there's anger. And then there's passion. And then it doesn't matter. You're never, in other words, what are you asking my name? You think you won the battle against me? You never win the battle against me. You will never win the battle. The battle, not that you won't win. You'll defeat him in the battles. But it's going to be relentless. It's a lifetime battle. It's not something like, okay, I'm done with the Yetzer Hara. Only Yitzchak was done. Yitzchak Avinu was done with the Yetzer Hara because he was blind at home. So he didn't have a Yetzer Hara. He was already out of the running. But you're never going to be in a situation where you've defeated the Yetzer Hara. You're never going to be in that situation. I want to tell you something. You want to hear something? I'll tell you something incredible. In the other yeshiva I think I told you, the other yeshiva that I'm at, there's one of the students is blind. And one of the rabbis was giving a talk to a group of guys about eye control. You know, we can't just, make our eyes loose and look at everything that we want, all the various temptations on the street, buses, downtown, He giving them what's called a session on how to control one's eyes. So one of the other, he finishes the talk, and he walks out of the room, and he walks into the next room, and he sees this blind kid is sitting there in the next room. And he says, hi, what are you doing here? He says, I was listening in on that talk. So it was very uncomfortable for the rabbi. This guy's blind. It was very uncomfortable. So he says to him, he says, so why did you just come into the room? He didn't know what to say. He says, so why did you just come into the room? He says, because Rabbi, I don't have this test. I know that if I would come into the room, the other guys would be jealous of me because I don't have this test. Could you believe it? Could you believe it? That was his, and it's really his attitude. He wasn't playing games. He wasn't playing games. I tell you, I've known this guy for 4 years. I've never seen him. He's the one guy I've never seen him in a down mood, ever. And so okay, but he has other tests. He has other tests. He may have a test of ego. He may have a test of selfishness at his level and what he's capable of doing. Everybody's got a test. Now, that's the first approach here. There's another approach. He says, Yaakov says, what? Did you guys ever hear Yaakov says to him, what's your name? So he says to him, why do you ask? He says, because I want to know. So I told you. So what did you tell me? I told you my name. What is your name? Why do you ask? I ask because I want to know. If you ever hear the routine, who's on first? The famous who's on first routine? That's what's going on over here. What's your name? Why do you ask? I want to ask because I want to know. I told you. You told me what? I told you my name. What is it? Why do you ask? In other words, the name of the Sultan is why do you ask? What does that mean? It's his name. His name is why do you ask?
Satan?
The Sultan's name is why do you ask? When he says to him, what's your name? He says, why do you ask? That's my name. That is his name. What does that mean? What does that mean? So when the first, you know what that means? What do you say, yes?
There's a lot of questions that we want to ask, but if we ask it, it'll bring this new realm of...
Interesting. So it could be. So one of the commentaries says, when a person, if we would ask, check out, investigate whether this action is a good action that's going to lead us to the proper path. If we would investigate, if we just think a little bit about what we're doing, so we might not end up sinning. So the most important thing is get us that we're not thinking. Don't ask. Just what's Nike's slogan? Just do it. Just do it. Don't think about consequences. Don't think about right and wrong. Don't think how this is going to affect the rest of your life. Don't think what this is going to do to future relationships. Don't think about anything. Just indulge in whatever the temptation is. That's the Yetzer Hara. That's the answer. It's presented. Why do you ask? Well, looks good, smells good, tastes good. Is it kosher? Are you fleischiks? Do you have to eat right now? Is it something you need to do? Is it gonna? Don't ask. Just do it. Just indulge. Why do you ask? That's what he says. Lama zeti shalishvi. Okay, one last point. The sun shines and Yaakov is limping. Okay, ready? Hang on, guys. It says, Al kain lo yochlu b'nei Yisrael es gid hanoshe, asher al kaf hayorech ad yom hazeh. For this reason, the Jewish people do not eat the gid hanoshe. The gid hanoshe is the sciatic nerve that has to be taken out of the hindquarters of an animal. And we're not allowed to eat food that has the gid hanoshe in it. Well, watch this. It says, Al kain lo yochlu. Therefore, they don't eat. Now you have to look inside. You have to see this inside. Al kain lo yochlu b'nei Israel. Therefore, the b'nei Israel do not eat. How many days a year are there that we do not eat? Yom Kippur, Tisha B'Av, the fast of Esther, the 10th of Teves, the 17th of Tammuz, and the fast of Gedaliah. There's 6 days of a year. Al kain lo yochlu b'nei Israel. Now watch this. Look inside carefully. You don't want to miss this. Therefore, the b'nei Israel don't eat. Look at the very next 2 words, because the very next 2 words contain all 6 fasts of the year. Aleph, Tuf, S, stands for Tisha, the 9th of. S is a Tuf and an Aleph. Tisha, which is 9. Aleph stands for of, the 9th of. Tisha B'Av. It also stands for Ta'anis Esther, the fast of Esther. Then the word Gid, Gimel, stands for Gedalia, the fast of Tzom Gedalia. Yud is 10, which stands for Yom Kippur, and it's also the 10th of Teves. And Gimel, Yud, Dalid, together is 17, which is the 17th of Tammuz. So you have, when is it that the Bnei Israel don't eat? How coincidental. It follows right after it says when the Bnei Israel don't eat the Gid Hanasha. When don't we eat? We don't eat on these 6 days of the year. Tisha B'Av, Tainis Esther, Gedalia, Yom Kippur, Asar B'Teves, and Shivasar B'Tammuz. See you tomorrow, boys.